President Biden is making false claims again, this time about the price of gasoline when he took office in January 2021. Watch this.
The most common price of gas in America is $3.39, down from over $5 when I took office.
Yeah, today's national average for a gallon of regular gas is $3.76 a gallon. It was $2.38 when Joe Biden took office. That's up 57%. So, no, the price of gas was not $5 when the president took office. Joining me right now is Texas Congressman, House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee member, former Texas Sheriff Troy Nehls. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. How does he get away with all that misinformation all the time?
Good morning, Maria. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Absolutely, the fuel price under Donald Trump when he left office was $2.39 on average. And why was it? Because Donald Trump truly understands how important the oil and gas industry is on our great country of ours. It's a national security issue, and Donald Trump did a great job turning America into energy independence. And that's what he did, and that's why fuel prices were where they are. And now you have this administration. They're trying to cut deals with Saudi to interfere with this election. And then you look at, we're going to try to go out and deal with Venezuela. We're going to try to cut deals with Venezuela to get some oil from them. So shame on Joe Biden. Just another lie, a lie from this administration.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, it's obviously an indication that he thinks viewers and the American voters are stupid. And all we have to do is look at where gas prices were when he entered the Oval Office. The other lie that I've been talking about is that fake press conference that he had around this quote-unquote tentative rail deal that he said he was avoiding a strike by the rail workers. You're on the Transportation Committee. I want to ask you about this because I'm very worried that we are going to see a rail strike right after the midterm elections. You know, he came out and he said, oh, we have a tentative deal with the rail companies, and he did a whole press conference about it. And in fact, what he told the unions, I believe, is to just put a pin in it until after the midterm elections so that it wouldn't get in the way of his politicking for the midterms. Do you believe we'll see a rail strike? What can you tell us about this rail contract that another union rejected?
Yes, there are 12 large unions in the railroad, and right now there's one or two of them that aren't willing to play ball with Joe Biden. They may reject this deal, and it's a good deal. They're getting a decent raise over the next 5 years. I mean, everything is good. It's a good deal. They should take it. And I tell you, with diesel prices right now at over $5 a gallon, $5.50 a gallon, diesel, $5.50 a gallon, and right now they're telling us we may only have 25 days left of diesel fuel. If you don't have the diesel fuel for the truckers to move things, and then the railroads go on strike, and they're talking about mid-November sometime, you want to talk about a supply chain issue right over the holidays, right over Christmas. I'm telling you, Joe, you better get your union people in check here, Joe, because if we have a rail strike mid-November, it's going to be bad for America. It's going to be horrible, and the American people, again, are going to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, we're already looking at expectations for a double-dip recession. We had 2 quarters of contraction, but yesterday we got this good news on the GDP that we saw growth of 2.6%. But everybody I spoke with told me it was all about trade. And in fact, they're expecting a double-dip recession where we see contraction again next year. Is that what you're expecting?
Well, I think recession, you know, the administration will play with words. They'll play games with words. But right now, the economy is in horrible shape, and everybody knows it. I tell you, Maria, I was down, you know, Texas has early voting now. It started on Monday. And the people going to the polls, Maria, a lot of people, they're seniors. They're those that are over 65 years old. And they're coming to the polls. We're talking to them. And they don't like what they see at our southern border. They know we have a very poor southern border. They don't like to see the crime we have. So Graham and Grandpa are concerned about the border. They're concerned about the crime. They've gone to the grocery store. They filled up their car. Their Social Security checks don't go as far, and their savings account are dwindled. They understand CRT. They really don't understand CRT, but they're thinking, this is crazy. Get it out of our schools. They don't like it. They don't like wokeness in the military. They don't like gender-affirming care. What they want to see is they want to see Mickey Mouse wear pants and Minnie wear a skirt. That's it. Mickey pants, Minnie skirt. That's it.
Well, You mentioned the border. We've now got information that some migrants are building a tent city on the Mexican side of the border to wait. These encampments, reportedly mostly Venezuelans, who are being turned away under Title 42. The White House recently expanded the Trump-era policy to include Venezuelans, or so they claim they did. I know that there were a number of Trump policies that judges ordered them to put back in place, but they actually just, sat on it and did not do so. Congressman, what do you make of this new policy to include Venezuelans on Title 42? We still have a record number of migrants crossing over this border into Texas.
Well, millions have come across. You got over 2.5 million so far this year. It's almost 4 or 5 million, and that could be a low number since Joe Biden took office. But Joe Biden, you didn't have to say a word about the southern border when you were inaugurated on January 20th. You should have just kept your mouth closed and kept Trump's policies in place. The Remain in Mexico was the greatest thing for us. And now we're concerned, obviously the Border Patrol's concerned about these individuals coming from Venezuela because Maduro's releasing the prisoners. They're releasing the prisons, and they're bringing these people over, and they're embedding themselves in these convoys that are coming up into our southern border. So I agree. We should keep them all. The Remain in Mexico policy, we should reinstate that, keep them in Mexico, and then let's deal with them from Mexico. Not just releasing everybody into our country. It's horrible. It's causing problems in our country. You can see the homelessness and everything taking place in San Francisco and everywhere else. We've got a southern border problem, and the American people are going to make Joe Biden pay for it, pay for his irresponsible policies on November 8th.
Look at these pictures, Congressman, of these encampments right on the Mexican border, on the Mexican side. I mean, if you're standing at the border in Texas, you can actually see these tents. They're right across the river. So they're just pretty much waiting there for their right opportunity to get back right across from Texas. And not to mention all the drugs. Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody is warning this Halloween could be the, quote, scariest of her lifetime. She's being serious. Mexican cartels are trying to target children now with these rainbow-colored fentanyl pills and drugs disguised as candy packaging. Congressman, parents across the country are concerned about the illicit narcotics and the fentanyl coming in. Is this a poisoning of American citizens? I mean, this is no accident to put fentanyl pills in candy packages.
It is, and the administration just doesn't seem to care. I mean, there's millions of people coming through. We all know it. Maria, they don't want to talk too much about the 600,000 plus gotaways. I've been to the southern border. Most people that are coming across, they're walking and passing through across the Rio Grande, and they're waving the white flag. They know that Border Patrol's there. They give the Border Patrol a hug. They thank Joe Biden because they know Joe Biden will release them into America. But what about the 600,000 I call bad hombres? Those are the individuals that do not want to be apprehended or detected. They want to enter our country undetected, and they're the ones that are the bad individuals with the fentanyl, the ones that are bringing in women and children for sexual exploitation here. But I tell you something, the idea that we have trick-or-treating coming up, Halloween coming up, and now parents got to be concerned about what their children are getting because of this fentanyl. I mean, this is ridiculous. We could stop a lot of this. We could stop it. Just secure the southern border, Joe. What are you doing? Put the American people first for once.
It's really a sad situation, Congressman. We will be watching what happens on November 8th and how the GOP may be able to stop this madness. Troy Nehls, thanks very much for joining us this morning